Do you trust a random stranger to give you life-altering advice? Imagine walking up to a stranger, you give them this coin. Hey, toss the coin. Toss the coin, and based off of what it lands on, by you tossing it, I'm gonna decide whether or not I break up with my girlfriend and move to the other side of the country to join a band. And my fate is in this random person's hand. Someone I don't even know. I don't even know what this person is about. Would you trust a stranger with that level of power? At the pier in San Diego, California, there's this TikToker, Bailey, who's casually sitting on the side, and she is hoping that people trust a stranger like that. She's got this giant poster board sitting on her lap, and it just reads, "Ask me for free advice," in big, bright orange letters. I don't know how long she's been sitting out there for, but a middle-aged man stops on his bike.
Do I go to Uzbekistan or stay here?
Yes, and it's such an intense question. Wait, say that one more time. Do I go to Uzbekistan or stay here?
Do you have family there?
No.
Why do you want to go?
Meet a woman.
To meet a woman. And it was
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
Which, that's a huge thing to ask a stranger for advice. Do you move to the other side of the world for a woman, or do you stay here? I don't know, but maybe he just needs someone who blurts out an answer. To give you the honest truth of how I feel about this TikTok, it appears to me that he just wants someone to say yes. Like, you know when you ask someone for advice, but you already know what you want to hear, so anything else is just going in one ear and out the other. It doesn't matter to you. It's like when you decide you want to buy something already. You ask your friend, and they tell you, do you really need it? You just keep going until they say, yeah, you should totally get it. That's the energy here.
Yeah.
And the man on the bike has this very interesting outward appearance. He's wearing this black beanie, but it's only covering half of his bald head. And he's eerily calm the entire time. Like a bit too calm. The way he's just pleasantly smiling. Do I just uproot my life and move to the other side of the country?
Yeah, it's really odd, right?
Yes. And the
It's
TikToker
crazy.
Bailey continues to ask him,
You don't like American women?
No, they're familiar.
So you've given up on meeting someone here?
No, I'm married.
Oh.
Yeah.
so he's married, pondering if he should move to the other side of the world
That's
for a
crazy.
woman. And the whole thing just gets stranger and stranger. He talks about how his kids are out of the house. He has an empty nest. He wants to find a woman that he's content with. He says, quote, I want to find a companion that I'm content with. And the whole time he's just pleasantly smiling while Bailey keeps telling him, sir, you're unhinged. You need to at least talk to your wife about this or settle things out here first before you even think about moving out of the country. This is crazy. This is between you and your
That
wife.
is
I'm going to
crazy.
find a companion that I'm content with.
I think that requires you to divorce someone first.
Well, maybe.
And he's mentioning that their love is diminished and he's just pleasantly calm the entire time. And there's this one part of the TikTok where he just looks at her and says, yeah, and then 6 months later. And he kind of throws his hands up in the air as if 6 months later he's going to end up in Uzbekistan. Now, at the very end of this very transparent conversation, I think that he realizes he's being recorded.
So sort out your marriage and then get back to me on that.
Maybe I'll find myself on the internet.
That video was filmed in June of 2024, June of this year. A few months later, in August, just like 2 months later, someone who looks very, very similar to this man on the bike,
That's
eerily
crazy.
similar, goes missing. Quite literally vanishes in the most bizarre kayaking trip out at the lake. His kayak is found in the water, overturned in the deepest part of the lake. His car is nearby. His wallet is found. But all netizens are wondering is, did he actually drown in the lake? Or did he leave his family and slip away to Uzbekistan? Or is that even really him in the TikTok video? We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support Bruce's legacy. They are a volunteer-based nonprofit who specialize in search and recovery operations for victims of drowning.
Ooh,
For example,
welcome to
they
the
have a
stream.
specialized dive team that can be deployed to a drowning incident if the authorities lack the right resources. They also help by using side-scan sonar technology, decreasing diving risks for everyone involved in the search and recovery. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. One quick disclaimer, this case is also ongoing, and as of now, most of this remains, I want to say, legally unconfirmed by authorities. So with that being said, everything is alleged, and most of these are speculations by netizens. The entrance to the cemetery looks straight out of a horror movie. Or like a Halloween movie. Like, you know the show Wednesday? It kind of has that aesthetic. It's all iron. The gate to the cemetery is iron. And at the very top, it has this ornate design. And there's just 2 words hanging there. Dartford Cemetery. It's only one of the most haunted spots in the entire state of Wisconsin. It's located just right around the corner from Green Lake, which happens to be one of the deepest lakes in the state. And the cemetery is now the final resting place for at least 2,591 bodies. The local legend is this. If you were to walk into the cemetery, you walk up to this one tombstone. The name on there is Jackson Walker. Nobody really knows much about who Jackson Walker was, except that he died a long, long time ago. And he's got this giant mausoleum tombstone over his grave. It's huge. It could maybe fit 5 people on there. About 4 feet tall. And you climb on top of this tombstone.
And you just
sit there and you wait. That's what the locals say. You wait and you wait until you feel something, like a hand on your back. And once you feel it, keep in mind, this is very important, you do not look. Not that you really have the chance to, because by that point, that force is going to push on your back and it's going to completely push you off the tombstone. The whole thing is only about 4 feet tall, so likely you're not going to be injured. But even so, you're going to be standing there feeling like there's a long hair that fell into your shirt and it's traveling down your spine. You're going to feel a little shiver. One netizen writes about the cemetery. I was a junior in high school, and a group of friends and I had been looking for a place to hang out during late October. It was during Halloween season. So seeing that Dartford Cemetery was only 20 minutes away from our place, we decided, you know what, let's just venture out at 10 p.m., check it out. Upon arriving, there was nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, it just looked like a cemetery. My 2 friends and I got out of the car and we walked into the darkness with the only light reflecting off the old tombstones. You know, and the dare was we were to sit on this tombstone that was rumored to contain the bodies of the children who had been stricken with polio and died. So as we walked closer to the landmark, I accidentally stepped on a grave. And suddenly the feeling of ice crept up my leg as if I was being grabbed by an icy hand. I quickly moved and I told my friends, but we kept going. I looked for the name on the headstone. It was too old to read. Once we got up to the tombstone, we sat on top of it. Only my friend Josh and I knew about the rumor of being pushed off by the ghost. We sat around, had a cigarette, and I felt really disappointed. We decided to get off, go home, but as Josh and I stood up, Tom, our other friend, fell off the top. I was amazed, but at the same time in awe of what power beyond the grave could even do this event. The roof of the structure was not at all slippery, so there was no reason that he would fall off. And as we were briskly walking back to the car, we also had this feeling of being watched, and Tom claimed to have seen shadows moving between the headstones. I have not been to Dartford Cemetery in several years since then, but I always think about it, about what happened that night. So why is the cemetery so haunted? I mean, technically there are 20,272 registered cemeteries in the United States, not including the unregistered ones that nobody knows about. But out of the 20-something thousand, why is this one so haunted? For thousands of years, the indigenous people considered Green Lake a very sacred place where you go to pay homage to, quote, the spirit that dwells beneath the water. Back then, the cemetery on the lake had a more beautiful history surrounding it, until, of course, the United States government forced the indigenous people off the land, and that's when things clearly go south. Chief High-Knocker, the last indigenous chief in the area, was buried at the cemetery. He's known to be one of the spirits haunting the area because, I mean, do you blame him? He would have been very mad to see what happened to his people. Which, side note, it is said he passed away August 12th, 1911, from drowning in the Green Lake. And now, August 12th, 2024, exactly 113 years later, another man goes missing at Green Lake, presumably drowned in a part of the lake that is over 200 feet deep. Which, if that's the case, that's not looking very good. The call comes in early in the morning from a woman.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how.
Missing last night at Green Lake. What do you mean he went missing? He texted his wife the night before at around 11 p.m. He tells her that he was kayaking on the lake, he's turning around in the water now, and he's heading to shore. So he should have been home, I don't know, let's say latest midnight, which already is alarming for authorities because even if you're an experienced kayaker, probably not the smartest thing to do in the middle of the night. But nevertheless, he doesn't make it home. His wife doesn't notice until about 5 a.m. the next morning. She wakes up, he's still not there. The authorities rushed to figure it out. Maybe he made it back to shore and decided to stay at a friend's house. Deputies rushed to the lake. The first bad sign, they come across the missing man, Ryan, his car, parked near the lake along with his trailer. Okay, that's okay. Maybe his kayak got stuck in the water and he's been waiting for someone to come and help him. You know, traumatic, but a great outcome considering the circumstances. First sweep of the lake, they find Ryan's kayak overturned, capsized, floating by itself in the lake. Now things are not looking as good. The biggest problem now is, well, if Ryan capsized in his kayak, he's likely dead. He was last heard from 11 p.m. He isn't reported missing until 5 a.m. If he capsized, how could he have survived? Perhaps he swam to shore, but there's an undercurrent that's strong. That doesn't make sense. And why wouldn't he be near his car then? Meaning he's likely dead and in the water, which means even the search for him is going to be hard. The part where his kayak capsized is, like I said, one of the deeper parts of the lake, 220 feet deep. That's deeper than the average lake across the world. At 200 feet, you can barely see what's in front of you. There's barely any sunlight that penetrates the water. The water is essentially black liquid. This is not something that the local sheriff's office can do alone. They have to bring in specialized search and rescue, a nonprofit called Bruce's Legacy that offers to help search for Ryan.
Bruce's Legacy has helped us in the past with drownings that we've had on our lake. And the reason why is because of the depth of our lake. Our lake is 238 feet, the largest inland lake in Wisconsin.
They're going to bring in sonar technology to scan inside the lake. They have those beams that shoot out into the water. They scan what's down there without actually going down. You can kind of see an image on what's under the surface from on the boat, but you really can't have a thorough search and rescue without divers. Sonar is like a flashlight. It quickly scans the whole room. It shows you where things are, but you can't tell exactly what each thing is. It narrows down a search area very quickly, but that's it. Once that area is narrowed down, you need divers. Additionally, the sheriff's office will be bringing in canine dogs. Canine dogs have actually been known to accurately detect remains even in murky waters at depths of at least 50 feet deep.
What?
They typically do not enter the
crazy.
water. They stand on the edge of boats to detect scents. They can do a lot of surface area very quickly.
That's crazy.
Yes,
That is
but that also
crazy.
means that you need very specific boats because their snouts have to get close enough to the water to scan it while they're driving slowly.
Really?
Yeah.
That
It's
is
very
awesome.
interesting. The dogs will be very important considering the water is incredibly murky in this part of the lake that he's vanished. Every hour that passes since Ryan is reported missing feels like the tension is just
Thanks
getting
for the
bigger.
likes, Joshua.
His
Appreciate
wife and his
that.
3 kids are waiting to hear the news that he's okay. I mean, they have faith that he's somewhere alive and well, and they just need to find him. But within 24 hours of him being reported missing, a fisherman fishes up a giant fishing pole that is identified to be Ryan's. They find a tackle box inside Ryan's wallet, ID, keys. For 54 days, they're searching. The entire community is getting involved, giving out food, gift cards to those searching so that they can go buy food because all they're doing all day for 12-hour days is searching the lake for Ryan's body. The local docks are loaning out boats to search and recovery. Meanwhile, Ryan's wife and 3 kids, the oldest is in high school. They're selling t-shirts that say faith over fear to help fund the search. And they're being very optimistic, but it's just not looking good for Ryan. I mean, there's just no way that this man is at the bottom of the lake. Keith is the man that runs Bruce's Legacy. He started the nonprofit because his brother Bruce was a firefighter who drowned while searching for a drowning victim. And Keith has done a lot of searches. He's scanned through so many lakes. By this point, 8 weeks later, in early October, he's pulling Sheriff Podal aside. This is the sheriff in charge of the whole search. Sheriff, I'm good at what I do. In this particular lake, he's been doing 9 12-hour days looking for Ryan, and he says, I'm telling you right now, I don't think that Ryan is in that lake. What? Then where is he? Did he capsize the kayak, swim ashore, and then hide in the woods or something? What do you mean he's not in the lake? In light of this conversation, Sheriff Podell decides, I'm just going to run his name. I'm going to run his name and see what happens. They run Ryan Borgwart's name. His passport comes up as entering Canada the day after he's reported missing.
Wow, yeah. That was something we didn't expect.
Because there's a log of all of this. How is that possible? How does a dead, drowned man go to Canada? He's supposed to be at the bottom of the lake that they spent $40,000 searching for him. What the hell do you mean his passport came up in Canada?
Wait, so this is
Thank you for your
50
likes.
days later?
Appreciate that.
54.
They didn't search his name in the system for that long.
No, because, the evidence was very clearly... And his passport was at home.
Oh.
Exactly.
Then how did he pass? Okay.
We'll get there. My husband has been so adamant on teaching our nieces about investing, and I really had to explain to him, sir, these kids are 3 years old. But he always tells me he wishes someone taught him more about finance and investing because according to him, time in the market beats timing the market. And that is why we love Acorns. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing for you, your kids, and your retirement, even during the holidays. I love how simple Acorns makes everything feel. In my opinion, it's the best way to get yourself or a younger loved one to dip their toes into the world of investing. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you. You don't need a ton of time. You can create your Acorns account and start automatically investing your money in just 5 minutes. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now. That could be $5 a day or even just your spare change.
All right.
And that's right. Acorns can round every purchase you make up to the dollar and automatically invest your spare.
If you like what you see, feel free to follow. I'll be posting updated and finished artwork and more stuff to come.
.com/rotten or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risks. Acorns Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Thanks
View
for the
important
follow.
disclosures at
Appreciate that.
acorns.com/rotten. Did you know that small businesses employ half of the nation's workforce? And if you've been thinking about launching that hand crochet business that you have dreamed about for years, or maybe selling your artwork on a professional scale, you guys always tag me in your artwork and I'm like, I want to buy this artwork. You're so talented. And the time could be now. With the new year coming up and Shopify's holiday special, make your any sized business dreams come true. Shopify is the most user-friendly e-commerce platform designed to help businesses of all sizes create, manage, and grow their online stores using these customizable templates. A lot of you guys may know that we've been loving Shopify for some time now. When we sold Grandpa Mango's limited edition art prints, Shopify took care of all the nitty-gritty tedious stuff. For example, it was the inventory tracker. It managed all of that and even provided alerts for when something is low in stock. If you have a physical location for your shop, Shopify's point of sale system and checkout tools will work in tandem with your online store's inventory management as well. Shopify makes getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment. The time is now. Make your any size business dreams become a reality this New Year's with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/rotten, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/rotten now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in.
Thank you, Joshua.
Shopify.com/rotten.
Right now, this is just a rough. I'm gonna do a more detailed and cleaned up version of it. I just wanted to finish the rough.
So they start rabbit holing. Not only did his passport come up in Canada, the laptop that they found at his house, the hard drive had been recently replaced. And his search history had been deleted the day he went missing. Why the hell would this family man delete his search history conveniently the day that he goes missing? The sheriff eventually makes a press announcement. Due to the discovery of new evidence, we are confident that Ryan Borgwart is not located in the Green Lake. We have ended all search efforts associated with Green Lake. At this time, we believe Ryan is alive and likely in Eastern Europe. To put it lightly, they are now accusing Ryan Borgwart of faking his death, escaping to Eastern Europe. Is that what the sheriff is saying? He tricks the whole town. His coworkers, family, wife, and kids all believe that he drowned in the lake when he really didn't. They're all passing out food to the search and rescue teams. What kind of person does that? What kind of person has any good reason to fake their death? Did you know every situation of someone faking their death that we know of are unsuccessful ones? We don't know about all the successful ones. One netizen writes on Reddit, the best way to fake one's death obviously is not a kayak. That's some beginner, novice shit. But rather, easiest way is killing someone roughly the same size as you. Dress them in your clothes, remove all their teeth and get rid of them. Position the body inside your car on the driver's seat. Now you remove all your teeth and place them in the body. Gas it up, set it on fire, walk away and go live a new life.
This makes
Which
sense.
is very extreme.
That is crazy. So they're saying to fake your own death, you have to commit murder and then pull out all your teeth, and then you can pretend that you're dead.
Yeah. Which at that point,
No, that's crazy.
that's crazy. But that still doesn't answer why someone would want to fake their death. You know the book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? It's like a very famous book. The author of that book actually staged this elaborate death where it appeared he jumped off a cliff and he wrote this note to go along with it. Ocean, ocean, I will beat you one day, or something poetic like that. When in
Thanks for all
reality,
the
he was
likes.
hiding
Appreciate
in
that,
his friend's
guys.
trunk while they drove into
Learn to
Mexico.
follow the seed to
He
finish
faked
artwork.
his death to get away from a marijuana charge. In the end, he was found doing copious more
crazy.
drugs in Mexico and brought back to the United States for a 5-month jail sentence. In 2003, a guy named Jesse Kiff died. Well, he faked his death. He hacked into the Hawaii death registry system using stolen credentials from a doctor, declared himself dead, signed using the doctor's stolen credentials. Also, he could allegedly avoid paying over $100,000 he owed in child support.
Yeah,
Where maybe
that's
sometimes
understandable.
people fake their deaths because they're spies for high-powered
crazy.
government agencies. There's many reasons why someone would fake their death. But Sheriff
$100,000.
Padal is initially very cryptic.
support is
He reveals,
crazy.
yes, we suspect that Ryan faked his death,
And you go to jail for
but
that,
he doesn't really
okay.
reveal why. He says,
Thanks for the likes,
everything we have
appreciate that.
found, we're in a really good position that we know he is somewhere out there. All we want to know is that he is safe. Our goal is to identify any crimes that have been committed by any individuals who assisted with this crime. Ryan, if you're watching this, I'm pleading that you contact us or contact your family. We understand that things can happen, but there's a family that wants their daddy back. So why would Ryan Borgward fake his death? Authorities are
Doesn't like
able
his
to
wife
retrieve
no
data
more?
from his computer that he thought he had
Imagine
gotten
that
rid of.
wife.
This man had been in contact with a woman from Uzbekistan. He had Googled how to transfer funds into foreign bank accounts, and he took out a $375,000 life insurance policy so that when he, quote, dies, his family will be taken care of, if you will. So did he really fake his death to be with a woman from Uzbekistan? That is very extreme. Some netizens are calling him the ultimate passport bro. Evidently, I think marrying someone that doesn't have a similar culture or upbringing as you is a fascinating experience. I think there's a lot that you can learn from each other. I also think that dating and love should be bound by no geographical constraints, right? However, I do think it's weird when people go abroad for the sole purpose of finding a partner because they hate all the quote options they have at home. I think that's a little weird. I do find that to be a very thin line between chasing your dreams and happiness to straight up looking for partners that are in more exploitable conditions. Welcome to the conversation of passport bros. Many netizens like to call them LBH. Do you know what that stands for?
The passport bros like to call themselves LBH.
No, people like to call passport bros LBH.
Oh, I
What does
don't
that
know.
stand for?
Losers back home.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they now are forced to travel to different countries to find people to date, is what some netizens say about passport bros. Draw your own conclusions. I'm not here to sway you into loving them, hating them, agreeing with them, disagreeing. I think they exist, and I think it's fascinating and terrifying. One passport bro states that women overseas are just more open-minded. He goes on to state, another misconception is that passport bros can't meet the standards of women in the US, so they travel overseas to date foreign women. But this perspective is elitist. What makes Western women the pinnacle of the global dating scene? Which, I don't think anyone said that, right? Is the only reason someone travels abroad to date because they can't find a partner in the US? I believe many passport bros feel it's the opposite, and it's women in the US who can't rise to their standards. He says he hopes to find love and settle down in one of his top contending countries, Brazil, Colombia, and South Korea. Which, no one's getting married in South Korea, so I don't know what you're thinking. But as for what he looks for in a woman, he says someone beautiful, loyal, and family-oriented. Again, I think if you love traveling or you love a specific culture and you wish to find a partner that's immersed and shares that same interest, that's beautiful. But passport bros keep taking it 10 steps too far. This is from actually one of the more palatable passport bros out there. Others write about their travels in Southeast Asia, which, by the way, Southeast Asian women are incredibly beautiful, yes. But the way they talk
Thank you,
about these
Kermit.
women in these forums is, okay, just listen. They have traditional values. Every single one of them that I talk to live
That's
with
the
their
rough
parents.
sketch.
These girls rate
Well,
on a
add
hot
some color
scale
to
much
it.
higher than your average woman in the West, and they are more ready to please. Some of the passport bros just hate on invisible American
you.
women screaming into the
Thank you
empty
for shedding
chambers
light.
of their brain.
Appreciate that.
To the salty Western woman
1K
lurking on these forums. Yikes. You
likes.
have no idea the competition you are
Feel
now
free to
facing
follow.
for men.
You see the finished artwork.
Crazy.
Yeah, again, love who you
Whoa.
love. I think you can be attracted to different cultures, different aesthetics, but why put on this fictitious war between women
Just save me
fighting
real
over
quick.
you in your mind? That's just the beginning stage of a mental health condition that will eat away with you. But they keep ranting. You cannot even come close to what woman overseas has to offer. So keep lurking on our forums, keep staying bitter, keep trying to shame us, and we will keep leaving for greener pastures overseas. My next mission is to get my other single friends that also have great jobs like me to give Passport Bro life a chance.
Oh, wow.
Again, nobody is stopping you. Truly. This is why you have a passport. I'm so sorry, guys. I have been lurking on these forums and I read it. I felt the pain and now you need to too, okay? Some of these passport bros, they're not even worried about Western women like that. They're worried about, quote, ruining the woman overseas. A TikToker posted a video from the Dominican Republic giving advice to other bros. Man, don't go crazy. These local countries, they have their own economy set up. In some places, for instance, in the Dominican Republic, you know the average person pays between $100, $200 a month for rent. So if you know you're coming here and being Papi Dinero and spending $200, $300 on a female in a day, you're just blowing things way out of proportion. You're messing up the local economy. So now the next guy comes down, these women are going to expect more than they've probably ever seen. I'm not going to say deserve because you can get what you can get out of life. When you come here and you start going crazy, throwing things off balance, you know, a lot of the guys are going down to the DR and treating the place like a strip club. You're upsetting the imbalance of things. I heard stories of guys back in the 90s. You know, I heard stories of guys going down there and having a nice time with a young lady for $50 or something for a couple of days. You try to offer that to a young lady now, she's going to laugh in your face. Why? Because the local economy, the structure of things has been thrown off.
Crazy.
Most people think that this man is a crusty man with crusty skid marks, but I regret to inform you that some people agree with him, and that could be potentially terrifying. One comment reads, "He's right. I ran into this exact problem the last time I went down there." Another netizen writes, "A majority of these passport bros are turning the women in these countries into Western women. I keep seeing posts about guys bragging about going on 10 different
Thank you
dates
for the
in
likes.
10 days,
Appreciate
sleeping
that.
with woman after woman as they go from
There's no
country
way,
to
bro.
country, basically treating them like disposable trash, which is why I won't even step foot into insert country unless you're fine with dating a woman who has been run through by about 15 degenerate passport bros." They also complain about the worst things that could possibly happen while they date overseas. Which, side note, you know, some of the worst things that could happen to anyone, and obviously a lot of women, is, well, to be tortured, essayed, and killed going on a date. But passport bros complain online that some of the worst dating encounters that they've had overseas, they write, "The worst I've experienced is that they aren't as hot or as enthusiastic as they were online." Still significantly better than here in the US. On that same note, another netizen writes, "Oh yeah, the worst, the girl shows up and bum bum bum, she's fat." Another one just comments, "Oh yeah, the worst thing that could possibly happen is getting used for a green card." Small Business Saturday just
Crazy.
passed, and it reminded me of a very interesting fact that you can use at your trivia night next time. Did you know that small businesses employ half of the nation's workforce? I didn't know that. They're really the foundation and backbone of, I guess, like the whole economy. And if
That
you've
is
been
crazy.
thinking about launching that hand crochet business that you have dreamed about for years, or maybe selling your artwork on a professional scale, you guys always tag
Just
me
save
in
me
your
right now,
artwork, and
that
I'm like,
much.
how are you not,
Files.
like, I want to buy this artwork. You're
Thank
so
you, Alex,
talented.
for
And the
the
time
likes.
could be now. With the new year coming up and
Appreciate that.
Shopify's holiday special, make your any sized business dreams come true. Shopify is the most user-friendly
I'm gonna
e-commerce
finish
platform designed to help
this
businesses
artwork
of
and
all
post up
sizes
final
create,
products soon.
manage, and grow their
So feel
online
free to
stores
follow me
using these
on here
customizable templates.
and on
A lot of you
my
guys
other
may know that we've been
platforms.
loving Shopify for
See
some
the
time
finished
now.
work.
When we sold Grandpa Mango's limited edition art prints, Shopify took care of all the nitty-gritty, tedious stuff. For
finally
example,
saved.
everything was
Let's get back to
user-friendly,
this.
but this was just the chef's kisses, and it was the inventory tracker. It managed all of that and even provided alerts for when
I'm gonna
something
make
is
this a
low in
little bit more
stock.
grand.
So that allows us and you to focus on sending out more orders and doing all the fun stuff in a business. If you have a physical location for your shop, Shopify's point of sale system and checkout tools will work in tandem with your online store's inventory management
Yeah,
as well.
darker color.
So once you start selling both online or in person, Shopify makes getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment. The time is now. Make your any size business dreams become a reality this New Year's with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/rotten, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/rotten now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/rotten. There's one video of a man who, honestly, I don't know how old he is, but he has a sour, wilted look to his face. He's standing in the parking lot, filming a younger woman who is visually so clearly out of his league. And he says loudly, "Passport bros, you want to hear a success story? Look what I pulled." She doesn't even speak English, so I don't
That's
even have to
crazy.
listen to her. Which the top comment reads, "Once she gets that green card, she will speak all the languages." But some passport bros try to argue that it's because they're just going where they're appreciated. They write, "I hated the term passport bro and all the negative connotations attached to it. For me, I was just going where I'm appreciated. It's really that simple." To which one netizen comments back, "The US culture hates men. The US culture uses men and discards them for not performing enough in long-term relationships. Most women don't value men in the US and view them as competition. Women have a chip on their shoulders due to dealing with a small group of men, or I don't know, past childhood trauma due to a father that most likely wasn't there. The legal system is and blames men. I'll say this, fuck this culture. You matter. And seek out the destiny God has put in front of you. You are free. You're not a slave to be used with nothing in return." The bros rant about how, quote, "It doesn't get better for a woman in the US anywhere outside the US. Whether we're talking about earning power of men in the US, alimony, child support, divorce laws, average woman over 27 being overweight, yeah, their life doesn't get better outside the US." They also say that American women are so particular about love that they won't date a short guy even if he clicks off all the other boxes. With a strong absence of neurons firing away, one netizen writes, "I know they ask, why don't you date an American woman? Well, American women are highly feministic since white woman feminism encourages women to go for tall men. I am 5'6" and they rejected me. I'd already given up on women and I thought that I would die alone. So I had 3 choices in America, which are get height surgery, which is dangerous and experimental, go for fat women, or go for women that are my age but mostly are all already single moms. I don't know why feminists are getting mad when they didn't even want us in the first place." Someone responds, "First, you must understand that modern women are not feminists. They are opportunistic capitalists who use feminist tenets to obscure their behavior. They aren't interested in equality, only anything that men use to have the upper hand. They don't want a level playing field. They want an advantage to take revenge on the so-called patriarchy. Keep in mind that their idea of revenge is basically..."
Right, I'm gonna end right here for the stream and call it a night. So yeah, I'm gonna come back to this later, probably add more details and fix things up here and there. So yeah, this is the end of the stream. Thank you, Kermit, for the follow. Appreciate that. Bye, Kermit. Bye, everyone. I hope you guys have a good one. And thanks for watching. See you guys in the next stream. Bye.